Welcome everyone to Cold Calling Live with Cognism. If you've been here before, let us know in the chat. If this is your first time, let us know as well. This is the first session of 2025. So we're ready to go. And I always just like seeing where people are tuning in from as people are saying it here. We have Colombia in the house. We got DC in the house, Texas, Florida, Jacksonville. We got Bedford. We got India. So we're like pretty worldwide here. So shout out to everyone that's here. As we get into this, we always like to get a gauge of where you're at skill-wise, and then we're going to dive into the content today and tell you exactly what we're looking to cover. So on a scale 1 to 5, everybody in the chat, please participate. 1 being like you just started or you are made a couple calls already. 5 being like you're elite. What would you rate yourself in terms of cold calling? So let's just see where everyone's at. And as everyone rates yourself from 1 to 5, dang, Ronen, why are you here if you're negative 15? All right, we're going to get a new guest. No, I'm just kidding. But the main bit here is our goal is to get you 0.5 better as we do this, as we go through this as well. And again, I'm going to explain everything that happens here. But before we do that, let's introduce our people here today. So we have a lot of people here that we need to talk through. We're going to go from left to right, starting with Will. I'll end it up, and then we'll go to the next step. But Will, tell us more about yourself, and let's do a fun fact. Let's start off the year strong. Let's start with a fun fact too.
All right, what's going on, everyone? My name is Will Padilla. I am a mid-market account executive at Aspire. So I've been selling influencer software for about 5 years. I also have a personal brand, Sell That SaaS, where I do sales content and pretty much been in the SaaS space most of my career after college. For a fun fact, let's see here. I'm trying to think. I don't know. All right, I'll give one. I was definitely afraid of the ocean for a long time. And it took my friend basically just dragging me out and saying, let's go see a coral reef to completely change my mind on the ocean. So now I love it. I wouldn't mind going even in deep water. So my fear of deep water, open ocean is gone just from seeing how cool a coral reef was several years ago. So that's my fun fact.
There you go. Now you're scuba diving now? Is that the next?
I'm open to it now. I used to be so afraid of it, but now, yeah, I'm open to it.
Okay, sick. All right, good stuff. Let's go to Tom.
Am I coming up? There we go. What's up, everybody? Tom Slocum. I am founder and CEO of my own company, the SD Lab, the Sales Development Lab of the last 2 years, going on year 3. I have about 2 decades of experience in B2B selling, been an individual contributor, built and scaled teams with a VP of sales, and now running my own company, helping organizations figure out how to build better outbound sales motions and that top of funnel. Interesting fact about myself, this one just is so conveniently teed up for me, Morgan, is I've made over 500,000 cold calls and counting, probably way more than that, but just in the last recent numbers, about 500,000. I love cold calling, my favorite channel. I'm pretty good at it, if I would say so myself, except for Morgan and Ronen. And that's, my interesting fact.
Okay.
I had to flex just a little bit.
All right, let's go to Ronen. We'll wrap it up.
What's up, everyone? Ronen here. I'll start my fun fact because it's a good lead into everything else. But in 2015, when I made my very first cold call, I was working in property management, hated it. So I pivoted into tech. I wasn't an engineer. So the only thing I could do was being an SDR. And back then that was actually a real entry-level job where you could climb the ranks. And I made a call. I still remember to this day, VP of marketing picks up the phone. The company was called Smartling, really cool tech company in New York City. And I froze. And I go, hi, this is Smartling calling from Ronen. No, wait, I'm Ronen. And I just hung up on the prospect. That was my very first cold call. I'm not ashamed of it. We've all been there. But since then, I've been fortunate enough to be a part of a bunch of startups. One of the fun ones was Security Scorecard, helped them go from 7 to about 75 million ARR, 10x during 4 years. Super cool to be a part of that journey. And now I do this full time. I help companies discover whether cold calling is right for them or not. And if it is, then I help them recruit and train SDRs and all in a few months so that they can have a working outbound motion. So that's me, Ronen, CEO of RP Advisory.
All right. So for me,
What about you, Morgan?
I'm just laughing at the comments. But I'm the host here of the show for the Cold Calling Live with Cognism. We help all things across the board with creative and outbound outreach and to get you more meetings overall. And I'm my fun fact, a good few of them, but it's because I watched Last Dance the other night. I've actually met Michael Jordan.
Oh, cheers.
I've actually met him in person.
Yeah, Morgan, that wasn't your first time watching it, was it?
It wasn't.
No, I've watched it probably the eighth. That's probably my eighth time watching it, to be fair. I needed like I don't know. I saw this video. He did this interview. It's like he never does interviews. And then I was like, dang, like he dropped some wisdom. Then I was like, you know what? I need to go like watch Last Dance again. And then I remember the fun fact for me is like, yeah, I met Michael Jordan. Crazy. Meeting him was crazy. The intensity and aura was off the charts. I was like, holy crap. Like, what in the world? It was cool. Sean, I mean, I didn't get to it wasn't like I didn't get to talk to him for too long, but he's exactly how you would imagine him. He was just locked in. And he was just watching his son, he was just watching his son play, and he was just still locked in. Oh yeah, he's 100% the GOAT. There's that actually.
He's your GOAT? I don't know,
hard.
dude. I think Kobe's for you.
No, that's the thing. It's hard because I know we're gonna hop in a cold call. I know it's here about the basketball talk, but like if I had to, my GOAT is Kobe, but the GOAT is Michael Jordan. Dang. That's the way I would look at that.
LeBron James.
LeBron's not it, dog. All right, we're moving on because y'all are just talking crazy. LeBron's definitely not it. But here's something that's important. All right, so if you come up here and do a mock cold call with us, you have a chance to win a prize. And these are the 3 types of prizes that you can pick from. So I just wanted to show you all this. The purpose of this and we're about to go into is you come up here, you do a mock cold call with us, we review, etc., and then we go from there. So if you want an opportunity to win one of these 3 prizes, you can do that as well. Also, if you ask a really good question, you have an opportunity to win the prize too. So questions or coming up live to do a mock cold call with us, you could win one of these 3 prizes. So that's exactly how you go about it. Someone in the chat will tell you exactly what to do to get on stage. But with that, let's hop into some tips. So each person's going to go into their top tip for cold calling this year that you can go execute. So with that being said, let's go to Will. What is your top tip when it comes to cold calling?
Ooh. I think he's on mute.
He's on mute. You muted yourself, dog.
Yeah.
That's weird.
That's step number 1. Don't mute yourself when you make a cold
Step
call.
number 1, don't mute yourself when you make a cold call.
Morgan did that
I didn't do anything.
And to God, I've done that. I've cold called on mute before.
He did that to me. No, I'm kidding. He did not. I would say my tip number 1 would be away from a cold call track and more so with actually yourself and your demeanor as a cold caller. So for me, like right now, I'm standing up. I always stand up when I make cold calls. It sets me in a more of a confident posture. So whenever I'm making cold calls, I raise my standing desk. I know it's time for cold calls. The second is tone. Really focus on your tone and have a calming, cool, collected voice when you make your cold calls. I'd argue the tone that you use is almost more important than actually what you say. So that's my cold call tip.
Awesome. Anyone else in here do standing up when they make calls? Let us know in the chat. Next person we go to is Tom. What is your top cold calling tip?
Number 1, stand up as I'm doing to that point. But for me, I'm going to go a different direction. What I want people to walk away from today and what we've all done so well in our careers is focus on the goal of the cold call and align that. Micro goals are very important. I think reps get so focused in booking this call, getting this call. Oh God, if they don't do it, like I used to be so invested in the outcome of a cold call that it would wreck me if somebody didn't accept what I was offering or taking the conversation. And it would work me up in my early days. But I want you all to walk away with, our job is to sell the meeting, right? That's it. Get them on the phone, get them engaged in their pain, their concern, and just sell the meeting. These reps are trying to shoot for the home run. They're like Curry shooting threes from the half court, like every 5 minutes. And you just got to set micro goals along the way. Like, okay, I may not get this booked meeting, but can I learn something from this call? Can I ask deeper questions that help me go into the next call To where if I call Ronen after I just spoke with Will, it's like, hey, Ronen, I get it. I was just talking with Will over at XYZ, and he was kind of saying that same emphasis, right, of what you're mentioning. This is what we were able to do with him. Is that something that's on your radar too? And you use those to build stories, but just sell the meeting and just set micro goals in your cold calls, and everything that's out of your control, let that go.
How do you, before we go to Ronen, because some of the people will maybe new callers and people who've been calling for a while probably already know how they deal with this. How do you deal with the rejection within those cold calls or things that are out of your control? Let's say you're having an off day. How do you handle that?
A lot of it is just mentally kind of preparing for that. And my favorite analogy goes back to baseball, and I teach this to SDRs all the time, is you look at Hall of Fame baseballers, their best average was 300. Everybody mostly is at 125, 150. You see some of the greats go into a playoff run. Aaron Judge recently, who went cold for an entire playoff run. You have to realize you're not going to hit everything. Not everything. It doesn't matter. Whatever you learn today, no matter how good you do it, you could have the best opener, you could have the best pitch, you will still fail. And, it's not going to work out every time. And so you have to understand it's a game of averages. It's a game of the long game of just putting in the work, keep planting those seeds every day. And eventually you'll see those wins come to fruition out of that. Review the game tape, put in the practice, get in that batting cage and kind of go and look at the different pitches you're seeing, right? The different kind of objections you're seeing. And then just refine your game and really just embrace mastering what you can control. From there, your averages will work in your favor. And that's kept me going when I get in that rut of 2 hours. I made 300 dials. My data was great. My opener was ready. I had everything good to go. And people didn't pick up. Or the people that did pick up, it was just a bad day, right? Next day, I'll maybe book 3 in that day. And it kind of works itself out.
Yep. No, I love that advice. Ronen, before we go to you, we have our first person for our mock cold call for practice. So we have Andre here. Andre, what's going on? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Awesome. So we need 3 things for you before we do this. Number 1 is we need to get an understanding of who do you cold call, so persona-wise. 2, what do you sell? And then 3, overall, like what type of industry are you in? So if you could give us those 3 breakdowns, and then we will start the mock cold call with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Andre. I'm currently the customer success manager for Cognism. We are an IT company. We offer solutions all across the globe, mainly focusing on Europe and Latin America. We work a lot with networking, structural cable management, office setups, equipment purchase and selling for companies. My main targets, as I like to call them, are companies that are trying to expand. So to give you a very brief and short example, any company that is based on Europe and or the US and wants to expand to Latin America, we help them basically set up their own offices. So what I like to do is, for example, through Reuters or even Crunchbase, I analyze which companies are emerging and are going for an expansion in Latin America. And I try, via Cognism and other platforms, I try to get their contact information and go from there. Just fair warning, I'm fairly recent to cold calling, so trying to learn day by day. So yeah.
Cool. Well, awesome. Appreciate that breakdown. Who wants to be the prospect here? None of you guys want to prospect.
I'll do it.
I'll do it. Tom, let Ronen and Will give advice, and I'll be the prospect.
All right, Tom's going to be the prospect. So, Andre, whenever you want to make the call, just do ring, 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 and we'll hop into it. Goal is to obviously schedule the meeting. And yeah, we'll go from there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what's my title again? What am I doing? What's my role? One more time for the audience. Morgan?
I believe it's because probably like director of IT is what it sounds like.
Director of IT?
Yeah. That's probably what it is. Yep, cool.
Yeah. So, do I do the ring ring and then?
Yeah, do the ring ring and then.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the most important part.
All right then. So, ring, ring.
Hello.
European.
Hey, Tom, this is Andre from Cognism. Am I speaking with the owner of... Sorry, okay, we'll restart because I didn't think of an appropriate name. My bad. Let me just pretend that you are from Cognism, and that Cognism wants to expand to Latin America. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, perfect. So ring.
Hello.
Yeah. Hey, am I speaking with Tom Slocum from Cognism?
Yeah, this is him.
Yeah, hey Tom. Very briefly, and I hope that I'm not bothering you in any way. My name is Andre, and I am part of Technazis, a multinational company focused on delivering new offices across the globe. I saw very recently that Cognism is trying to expand to Latin America. Is that correct?
It's something on the roadmap. Yep. Something
All
that we're
right,
looking for
perfect.
about a Q3.
All right. So without wanting to delay you any further, I just wanted to check your availability for a very brief 15-minute call. Okay. I do not want to sell you anything. I would just like to offer you some tools that you could utilize to ensure that Cognism has a nice expansion towards this area, especially in Latin America. Is this something that you'd be interested in?
Well, what would we do during the time? I mean, carving out time is kind of a challenge right now. What would we go through? If you're not here to sell me, what would we be doing during that time?
Yeah, absolutely. What I would like to do, and it's something that I do with all prospect clients, I would basically just show you what we have done for other companies and see if that would fit you. Okay. Again, I do not want to sell you because I do not like to sell stuff. I like to provide you with an experience. I like to provide you with the tools in order for you and your company to work. Okay. And this is just a call for us to understand if we could work together. It's not something that I would like you to, let's say, a service or something for you to just simply buy. I would just like to take even 5 minutes of your time and show you a very quick presentation on how we could thrive together. Does that sound okay?
I don't think we could be able to accomplish anything in less than 5 minutes, but I think I'm going to pass for now. Unfortunately, I just don't really understand carving, what you're looking to accomplish. We're kind of looking into our Latin America expansion. We've got a couple other providers in the mix, but yeah, I just don't think I have the time to carve out for you right now.
Yeah, Tom, I fully understand. If it's okay and this would not take any time from you, would it be possible for you to quickly provide me your email in order for me to write a detailed email on how we could collaborate? And from there, we could see if it would work for you to even schedule a call with me. Is that something that we could do?
Yeah, do that. Send me a little bit more information. Let me get a minute to look it over, and we'll see if we can connect again. It's tom@cognism.com.
Absolutely, Tom. Tom, thank you very, very much for your time. I'll be definitely getting back to you, and I hope that I didn't bother you too much. All right. I hope you have a great day.
Thank you.
All right, cool. Let's give Andre an applause for coming up here. So that's first and foremost.
That's the hardest part. That's the hardest part, honestly.
Just coming up here. Yeah. Just coming up here. So everyone across the board, let's give some feedback. So we'll start with you and then go around the way. Everyone in the comments, obviously, if you want to give your feedback, please be constructive. Don't come in harsh. Like, this is a hard thing to do. So, like, and all y'all have been here before. Like, we've all been bad at cold calling. So it just is what it is. But Will, give us the feedback and let's go from here.
Yeah, thanks, Morgan. Yeah, Andre, again, thanks for coming up. It's not easy to come up on a live show with 4 of us who have been doing software sales for a long time, or just sales in general. So I have to say I appreciate that. I like the fact, like, your tone sounds very professional. I do like that, but I would say I think the call just started off the tracks like so fast, where you called and then it was immediately like, hey, let's do 15-minute call. You were just going like right for the meeting out the gate, when I don't even feel like I knew what was the point of the meeting in general. And if you heard Tom say, well, what would we actually be discussing on that 15-minute meeting? So advice for you, this is how I always look at cold calls. So cold calls are always going to be the quickest way to an answer, whether that's a yes or no. However, to get to a yes or no or a I don't know, you have to think of yourself as a detective. You don't know anything about Tom's day-to-day right now. You have an idea of that he might want to expand, but it's your job to understand what's Tom actually doing on a day-to-day basis. Where is he at current state, and where can you take him future state? And that gap in the middle is where your job as a sales rep is to sell. So you had no idea where he was even at or where he wanted to go. So it's your job to identify that gap and then sell into that. The meeting should come definitely towards the end of a call after you identify Tom's gap in his business and where he wants to go. So that's my feedback.
I like
Yeah,
that.
it makes total sense. Yeah, absolutely.
I like that. Ronen, what do you got?
Yeah, just a few quick things. First of all, it's tough doing this in front of people. It's probably more nerve-wracking than doing the real thing.
To be fair, it is.
It is.
You gotta pump the brakes. The best cold callers speak deliberately, slowly. They enunciate their words, especially if you're calling U.S. market with an accent. I'm sorry to tell you, you're already at a disadvantage, no matter what. So you got to slow it down big time. I have a rule, not just cold calling, but definitely cold calling, which is 100% brutal honesty means that you have 100% chance at actually developing some trust. If someone says, "Oh, is this a cold call?" Yes, it is. Are you trying to sell me something? I am. Where'd you get my number? Zoom info. Don't beat around the bush. Just say it like it is. People respect you more for it because we all have these detectors that pick up on like the BS. So as soon as someone's detector goes off, you're done. You're toast. They don't want to talk to you. They don't trust you. I actually really like how you went in early for like what I'd like to do is find some time. I'm a huge fan of this more recently than I ever been before, because I've learned that what happens is when the first thing you do right after your openers, you go in asking for time, most people then want to know what it's about and that you actually have their attention. So if you go in with a nice opener where you're really just trying to get their attention, like, "Hey, Tom, yes. Tom, it's Ronen Pessar here. You actually don't know me. I'm a total stranger. It's even the first time I've tried calling you. Does it make sense for me to tell you why?" And then you go in from there. Look, the purpose of my call was to find some time, maybe 30 minutes or so, where I could share a little bit about how we might be able to help support your international expansion. Do you have any time coming up this or next week? He's not going to book it, but what he will say is, "What's this about?" So now you're able to go in, and instead of pitching, you want to go in with a nice probe and a nice provoke, like a question that's going to get to the core challenge. I don't know what your business does, but one thing I could imagine would be like, "Hey, yeah, reason for my call was actually to see if you already have a way to expand internationally without the headache that comes with sourcing all the hardware that you might need in your offices abroad. Do you already have a partner for that?" Going in with a question as opposed to saying, "What we do is this, this, and that." So good job asking for the time early. Try to slow it down. And if you can, go in with a probing and a provoking question instead of a pitch to try to get the conversation going.
Yeah, makes total sense.
Tom, quick feedback for you, and then let's get the next person in.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep it short and sweet here. Andre, I was your prospect. I think to the point you were resilient. You did incredible tone. And what I would add in there to expand on what you've already got as a foundation is, to Ronen's point, when you come in and you get that initial call and they connect, ask them a question, right? I saw you were going into Latin America market. In my research, I see you guys are looking to make that expansion. How is that going thus far? Seek to understand and then be understood. It's my favorite line ever. Ask questions, really gauge on, are they even looking at stuff? Is this on their radar? If they are looking, what am I running up against? Do they maybe have some competitors in here already? And then you're able to refine what comes next based on those type of active listening skills to kind of pick up on that. Also take advantage of the stories that you're having on those calls. When you are going and tackling people that are expanding and you really do have those in-depth combos, find out what they're doing. Are they looking at stuff? What has been their solution thus far? So in the next call, you can bring that up. Morgan, Cognism's doing it in Latin America. I've seen a lot of folks use XYZ service, or they've tried this approach. Is that something you're exploring right now? Now you seem confident. Now you seem like you know their world, and it's like you do this every single day, which should be the case. You are so fortunate to talk to your ICP on a low end 5 times a week, up to 20 times a week, depending on how many good conversations you're having, right? So you're learning from that, and you're building stories and examples with the next person to say, hey, I get your world. I want to understand where you're at, and let's move you along the process. And then you bring in your value prop after all of that. Morgan, that's exactly why I called. Now, as I got an understanding of what you're doing with Cognism, we've kind of replaced those 3 options you've explored by doing XYZ, which then saves you time and can get you market share within Latin America by 20%. I'd love to see if maybe 30 minutes would be worth your time, and we could show you what we've done with a few others to make sure that that market penetration happens and sticks. Do you have time Thursday at 2 o'clock? And that's where I would go. But I think you did a great job. Tone, ask questions more, really, really deep questions. Not like me and Morgan will get into, or Ronen will get into the yes, no, or open-ended, but I'm a big open-ended question guy. Ask them good questions. And then tie your value prop later. That's it.
Okay. Andre, hopefully this was helpful for you.
Very much. Thank you so much for the feedback, and thank you for setting up this meeting. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much once again for your feedback. It's going to be really helpful.
Morgan, we got to get this guy a tumbler for going first. That's hard.
It is hard. That's like, hey, he's gonna get love. He's gonna get love. He's good. I got him. Don't worry about it. He's good. All right, Andre, appreciate you. All right, guys. So we have 2 more people that are going to come on. So for us, we're going to speed up the feedback a little bit here. It's going to be more concise for us moving forward, just so all y'all know that. But for everyone else, if you have questions, put it in the Q&A, and we'll try to get it towards the end as we go through people. And so as we do that, though, for everyone in the chat, we got a lot of people here. Tell us if this has been impactful and helpful for you so far. If you like these 3 guests, and if we should bring them back or not, I don't know. But
rank us from worst from best to worst. Just rank us, no. But
let us know if this has been helpful, impactful for you so far. But again, let's bring in the next person. So same question to you, George, is what are you selling? What industry are you in? And then also as well, let us know what type of roles you go after.
Yeah, of course. So thanks for having me on, guys. It's pretty daunting. It's pretty exciting. So basically, I work for a company, and we do networks and cybersecurity as well as telephony. So, like phone systems for businesses, providing to sales teams like we're all part of, and also like wider teams as well. We're mostly pitching to IT managers, IT directors, CEOs sometimes start with a top-down approach and get referrals down. So yeah, that's what we do.
Morgan, I got you. I'll do prospect this time. Give Tom a break.
Cool.
I'm out. I did mine.
All right, George. Whenever you're ready, do the ring.
George,
we'll get into
scale 1 to 5. 5 being super hard. Give me a number.
Cool. Go on. Give me a. We've been doing a call out Tuesday, so give me a 4. I'm feeling feeling pretty warmed up.
Yeah, let's get it.
Yeah. Ring.
Hello.
Hey, Ronen. Good afternoon. I hope I haven't caught you at a bad time.
Sorry, who is this?
Sorry, Ronen. My name's George. I'm calling from Formation Tech. I was hoping to tell you a little bit about why
George, I'm sorry. I thought this was someone else, so I answered the phone here. What are you calling me about?
Who were you expecting to call from?
That's personal information. Who are you?
My name's George. I'm calling from Formation Tech. I was just hoping for 30 seconds of your time to tell you a bit about why I called, and if it resonates, we can keep chatting.
Yeah,
and if
go
not,
ahead. You got 20 more seconds.
Perfect. Well, Ronen, I work specifically with multi-site businesses like yours, and I work specifically across telephony, networks, and cybersecurity. Ronen, the reason I work with multi-site businesses is because whether you guys have grown through acquisition, which I understand you have, or you've grown through natural growth, you come across the same problems around various telephony systems across those sites. So that was the area I was hoping to have a chat with you today about.
Yeah, like we got someone for that. I think we're all good.
Well, everybody has someone for that. Everybody's got inside teams, but what we aim to do is work as an extension of your team, so we can free up the time that your IT team could be used in could be used in other things.
Yeah, I mean, that's their job, so it's okay if they're not free. That's what they're there to do. But tell me again, what is it that you guys do differently? I didn't quite get it.
Yeah, so quite often, and I understand you guys have grown through acquisition. Is that right? You've had quite a bit of PE backing recently.
That's correct.
So quite often, in my experience with businesses like yours that have grown through acquisition and mergers, you end up with disparate telephony systems across your sites. And what we aim to do is consolidate those vendors down, find you cost savings, hopefully increase some efficiencies to the business. And that's really what we do in a nutshell.
That's kind of interesting because we were just talking about that the other week. Tell you what, if you can just shoot me over an email with like how you guys do that, your timing might be right here, but I'll get back to you if we're interested in learning any more.
Well, look, Ron, I can always send you a email, but just to make it a bit more personalized and really like drum into your issues, I was hoping to find out, like you say it's the right time, but what makes it the right time now?
Well, we just acquired a few companies, and we've got that issue you're talking about, right? So like different systems. So if you could send me an email with like how you guys help consolidate all the disparate systems, specifically around the telephony stuff, that'd be really helpful. But I got to run into this next meeting here.
Okay. Well, how about instead of an email, I send you a Teams invite, and then if it works for you, accept by way of confirmation. If not, I'll fill it with loads of information anyway, and we can set another date. How does that sound?
I appreciate your persistence. All right. Yeah, I've got some time Friday morning. Why don't you send it over? I also work on Sundays, so if you want to send something for Sunday, we could do that too.
Perfect. I can do Sundays. I can do US time. I can do UK time. Whenever you want me, I'll be there. Speak to you then.
All right.
Assuming I've got your email from Cognism, then I'd.
Fair play.
I was not going easy on you, George.
Yeah. Oh, I thought he was about to like leave you. They said teams, though. I was like, he said teams. Could have been good there.
Yeah, I've got my whole office on the same call. I've just had a group round of applause. So I think it's
I might be hiring
performance all day.
For a new gig anytime soon.
No, thank you.
He's Gucci. Yeah. All right, y'all. So for this round, one thing that he did really well, one thing he can improve on from all of you, and then we'll go to the next person, and then we'll start in the reverse order. Tom, we'll start with you. You're muted.
Oh, he's pulling a will.
Yeah, he's pulling a will.
Pull the will. I had to implement the tip. I'm a guy that takes it real fast. I think, George, you had great tone. I love the name drop that you brought in there. You kind of listened to the feedback we provided with Andre, and I see that you kind of brought that in. And that turn you took to kind of pivot Ronen. Ronen was very tough on you. But I think overall, you did a fantastic job. Anything I would approve on is nothing. I think you kind of knocked it out of the park. You got a job offer in the chat. Everybody kind of gave you a round of applause. I know you're looking to always make it better, but I think you kind of nailed it, man. You did a good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'd say overall, like, fantastic job, George. Your persistence is just super respectable. Your tone, love it. So fantastic work. I would say the only thing that I would maybe improve, and again, this is small because you booked it, so it doesn't really matter. But perhaps that opener, you were like, hey, this is what I'm calling you about. Maybe what gets me, I get cold calls all the time as a business owner, is like, hey, I noticed this. How's this going? What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah.
Just kind of give them something. Like, for example, I have a small content creator business. I have people call, hey, I notice your podcast isn't coming up on the top rankings for this category. What's that impact been on you not being able to get in those top 50 rankings? And I'm like, what the heck? Who is this?
Yeah.
And I'm like, let's go ahead and talk. So that'd be the only piece of advice, but you booked it, man. Great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, George, you did fantastic. I will go back on what I said before about accents. If you have a UK British accent, we're actually in luck calling US folks. I don't know why, we love it, but you did a solid job staying calm. Even though I could feel your heartbeat going up, you didn't let it show. That was awesome. If you can maintain that anytime you're getting, you're under fire, you're going to do better than if you let it get to you. So good job staying calm, keeping it under control. The one thing I would try to say is try to make that pitch a little bit more concise and maybe end with a question. instead of dropping this. At one point I was going to cut you off, but I was like, I've been hard enough. My favorite response to the email me objection is just like, yeah, I'm super happy to do that. But like, would it be a terrible idea if we found some time instead where we could explore how we might be able to help you with value prop, or where we might be able to help you with solve this problem? Is that an awful idea? You did a great job. Got the meeting. Nicely done, George.
Thank you.
Way to be a jerk, Ronen.
Hey, he asked for the floor.
Yeah, it's
that
nice.
was a fair play.
Hands up. Hey, hands up, all right? Hands up. Hey, listen, I'm good. I'm good.
Listen.
Ooh,
all right, George. We appreciate you. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Cheers, guys. Appreciate the time.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. So I see the questions coming in. We have Brooke next, and I think we might be able to get to these questions here. But Brooke, same questions to you here. What industry are we in? What are we selling? Who are the personas? And then we'll get into it.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Brooke. I'm calling from Stream. We build chat APIs and SDKs for chat messaging, activity feeds, and video solutions. So we're a startup tech company, and I'm reaching out to product managers, CPOs, CTOs, engineers, and yeah.
Well, that sounds like you.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah. That's your lane, dog.
Yeah.
So what would the solution be? Like, what would I be struggling with typically, and like, how would you help?
Mm-hmm. So it kind of depends on the vertical, but basically trying to create like a engaging community on their platform. So whether it's like a dating platform, being able to have users to connect more seamlessly, so having like all the rich features that they would need for like that seamless communication. And then also integrating like any kind of moderation or video into their platform so that they don't have to build it in-house, because it's a tough job to build those solutions in-house. So, being able to just kind of make it easier for their team to build.
Cool. Gotcha. And then what's my title? Want me to just play from Cognism or a different company?
You can stay with Cognism. Probably a product manager is my favorite people to call.
Okay.
Okay.
Gotcha.
I'm so nervous. Okay.
Don't be. Take a breath.
You got it.
Oh, wait. I'll also do the Ronen's question. So in terms of like a scale 1 to 5, how difficult would you want me to go?
Oh, I don't know, because usually no one wants to answer the call. So I've only been SDR for a few months now, and I feel like it's, I would want to go for the most challenging. So
all right.
Yeah, let's do that.
Cool. Gotcha.
All right. Okay. All right. Ring, ring.
Hey, this is Will.
Hey, Will. This is Brooke calling from Stream. How are you?
I'm doing all right. From Stream. Do I know you?
No, and I'm going to be super honest with you. This is a cold call, and you probably hate receiving them just as much as I hate giving them. But Will, I just wanted to talk to you really quickly about your current chat messaging and video solutions on Cognism platform. We build those solutions for Nextdoor, and I thought it might be relevant to you to hear how we've created a vibrant community for them. Do you have a moment to chat?
Yeah, our chat solutions. Yeah, we actually have another provider for that, so we're actually all good on that front.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to, maybe inquire a little bit more. Do you what solution do you currently have? Do you use one of our competitors? And what's the sentiment is towards that solution? How do engineers like it?
Yeah, we use one of your competitors. We've been with them for a while. We're really happy, honestly. I think I've heard of, now that you say Stream, I have heard of you guys in the past, but our provider, we've been with them for about a year now, and we're quite happy. Our engineers, they like it. It's pretty easy to use.
Okay. Are there any features on your platform that maybe you haven't seen yet that you would like to see in the future?
None that I can think of. I mean, honestly, we're really happy with them.
Okay, totally understand. Yeah, just wanted to give you a call because what we felt is that one of our top companies that we partner, Nextdoor, they were using one of our top competitors for over 10 years, and then decided to switch over to Stream because they found that we have better documentation for SDKs and that their engineers like building with our solutions better. We kind of create more features, and we have we're constantly building new solutions. Like we have chat, now we have video, live streaming, moderation. So just wanted to introduce you to Stream, and if something that you're ever considering switching vendors, that you would ever give us a call.
Yeah, I mean, we're, as I said, super happy with one of your competitors. Would totally be interested to see a little bit of like what you guys do in terms of a video. Like, could you just make me a video and send me that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it would honestly probably be more valuable to kind of get you like in a quick call with one of our AEs, and they can kind of go into more of like what your use case would be for a video solution, and just kind of go into more depths of like what that would look like, and we can do a demo for you.
I'm really not looking to get pulled into a super long sales process. I actually used to work in software sales, so I know how that goes down. If you could just send me a video, that would be much more appreciated. That way I can look at it on my own time.
Okay, totally. I'll go ahead and do that. Do you have, can I maybe grab an email that would be best that I can send you a video?
Yeah, will@cognism.com.
Okay, well, I will go ahead and send you a video then. Thank you for getting on the call with me. I know everyone hates getting a cold call, but I appreciate you taking the time to speak with me.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Brooke.
Thanks.
Okay. Good job.
Bravo, Brooke.
There you go, Brooke.
All right, y'all. As always, let's get into the feedback. Ronen, we're going to start with you. And then same thing. One thing you were like, this was great. Another thing, hey, this is what we need to improve on.
Yeah, for sure. Brooke, your opener was solid. I actually like how you had you went in with like, hey, how are you? Good, good. And then you went into the like, this is a cold call, and you gave a little pitch. Just try to shorten that pitch a tiny bit. The competitor objection is one that I'm sure all of us hear all the time. I mean, we know from Chet Holmes' buyer pyramid that like 60% of our market is either between like not thinking about it or don't think they need it. So like most people already have something in most cases, which means that you want to try to set yourself up for a good follow-up, because what they say is fat stacks are in the callbacks. You're not going to book on the first one. Don't just try to go for meetings all the time, because you're going to miss a lot of gold in them hills if you do. So you want to set yourself up for the callback, the follow-up, by trying to get some information. Like the biggest one is, oh, I hear this all the time. Actually, that was why I was calling you. What? That's why you're calling me? I love that line. That's why I was calling you. I figured you were already working with someone. It's safe to assume it's Acme competitor or someone else. Oh yeah, it's Acme. Okay, cool. Look, if you were to come up with renewal at some point, would it ever make sense to evaluate alternatives at that time when you might be open to it? And when would that be? If you get that information, the person who owns that account, your AE, will be super happy when you come around a few months later and they're like up for renewal, and you can now position yourself for a displacement. Because reality is people don't want to change when they're already set. If we accept that reality, you can still walk away with some value and have a good follow-up.
Okay.
Awesome. Let's go to Tom.
I would say for you, Brooke, big thing. If you run into competitors often, I had an organization that I worked with where they had that. All their SDRs, only objection they ever dealt with was a competitor, which was good, right? The space had it. Understand your competitors. Really master your craft, kind of understand. Go talk to your CS team. Find those that have moved from that org, that did actually make that change. To Ronen's point, right? They did evaluate. They did move to you. Find out why. And then when you run into that objection of, we're with a competitor, to Ronen's point, that's great. I'm glad you have it. That means you care and you're obviously taking a tackle at it. What within it is doing well? And go right on the positive at first, right? Like, hey, what I've heard from others that use that, they really like its UX. They like how it functions here. Is that in the same case for you? Cool. And then what they don't, is there anything that you don't like? Or to the magic question that was dropped in the chat, if you had a magic wand and today it could operate the way you wanted it to, what would that look like for you? Cool. That's why I called, Ronen. That's what we do. We've learned that gap in the market and we've strengthened our platform to fulfill that while still hitting the nail on the head with the things that you do like. When you're evaluating next month, do you think we could get a chance to throw our name in the hat, kind of walk you through what the tool does, how it fills those gaps, and see if we could maybe improve your process in that area? Cool. Let's get some time on the calendar for that. I'll have, we'll circle back when it comes that time, right? So the more you can show up confidently and, hey, I know your world. I know you're using these tools and I know where they have gaps. I know where they have strengths and I know where we fit in that mold. You would make that objection a little bit easier. But the main tip is ask some questions, dig into what they're using, how long. Another good question is, oh, that's great. You have a tool. How long have you been with those guys? Oh, we've been with them for 6 months. Okay. Assume it's a 12-month contract. Now you're already getting ahead of the objection before they're going to hit you with it, because you're kind of seeking to understand, did they just buy last week or did they buy over a year ago, or have they been with them for 2-3 years because a friend in their company, loves that tool and that's what they've had. And then you can, again, seek to understand, then come in and be understood with how you tie that all in.
Sweet,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, great feedback, Tom. Like that's so money. And Brooke, great job. You did it. You did a good job. I like the tone. I think I tried to play a prospect of someone that I would usually go up against in a hyper competitive influencer marketing space. Whereas we're happy, we're good to go. Tom stole my thunder. I was gonna give you the same feedback of just like instead of asking like, are there anything specific you like about him? What Tom said is ask, what do you like about him? Allow him, because you're probably going to meet people like me who are open to kind of just chatting on the phone. Like we're not super rude. We're like, oh, maybe doing something else, but open to tell you what we like. And then when you say, and this is like where I always would book a meeting as a cold call, is when I say, okay, what don't you like? Well, maybe there's this. And then if I knew our software could do it, I'd say, what would the impact be if we could do that and save XYZ? Oh, that'd be pretty cool. Okay. And then I just go like right to the meeting. So that kind of tees you up when you have someone who's somewhat friendly, but not wanting to get pulled into a formal sales process because like, well, what would this really be about? But I think you did a good job. And let's think about the positive. You could have sent a 20-step email sequence or a LinkedIn sequence, but now in one cold call in less than 2 minutes, you understand what competitor they're on, the decision maker, like everything. They've been with them for a year. So you have more information in less than 2 minutes than you did prior. So.
Yep. Thank you guys so much. That's so helpful. And I definitely do come across people who are like, they're usually really nice and willing to talk, but it's definitely hard to kind of probe a little bit deeper. So thank you.
Nice.
Cool. Oh, now Morgan found
now Morgan's doing the wheel.
We've all done it now.
No, I wasn't talking to y'all. I was talking to somebody else. I was talking to backstage. Because I was. We were talking to backstage. I was talking to backstage.
Okay.
I had to make a call backstage.
Right,
we
had
to
call
make
mute
sure
and talk to make you feel better.
Nah, we had to make a call backstage.
Oh, hold on, I got a phone call. Hold on, yeah.
Like we had to tap in because we now have giveaways, and it was approved by the backstage that all three people who came up,
let's go,
won the giveaway.
Woo, let's
go! All three people have the giveaway. So I'll pull it up again, just so y'all know who that was. Brooke, Andres, George, y'all all can get an opportunity to get one of these prizes across
Fortune
the board.
favors the bold.
It does. It does. So no, I wasn't on mute. I was talking. I was trying to get things sorted for the people. Yeah. I was trying to do it for the people. Y'all were just muted and y'all made the people upset. But I was muted because I was trying to get some stuff done. So
those Stanley mugs are tight though.
How
do the hosts get one?
Hey, do we get some by attention too?
Hey, look, that's a different conversation. We can talk about it later. I'll talk to backstage and see what they say. That's not on me.
You can't make this. Come on, Morgan.
No. Going into the question. So the question here is this actually is a good question because we see this pretty often, right? How would you answer I'm in a meeting objection? Someone says I'm in a meeting. Oh, easy. Okay, Ronen's is so easy.
Just hang up and cry. You hang up, cry, and find a new profession. It's over. Don't do it anymore.
It's over.
That's it. What is
I
tell them.
Oh my gosh.
People are in a meeting all the time, but why do they answer the phone? There's two reasons. One, they thought you were someone else, or two, they don't really care about the meeting that they're in. It's a Zoom meeting, and they have some time. So you just ask, like, "Oh, that's on me. I caught you out of the blue here. When will be a better time?" Most people are going to either tell you like, no, this is it. There's no better time. I'm in a meeting, except we move on. Good news is you have a phone ready lead. Someone who answers the phone is the right person. Call them back tomorrow. Call them back an hour later. You're good. But if they say, what's this about? It was a brush off. That meeting doesn't really matter. One of my most viral cold calls I put on LinkedIn, the lady started with like, I'm actually on a meeting right now, but go ahead. And so she, it just happens. And you can book meetings like that, or you can walk away with a phone ready lead and try them back. It's a win-win.
at this point, this is just maybe a different style. I know some people don't prefer this. I just tell them I'm in a meeting. Oh, you think I'm joking? I straight up just tell them I'm in a meeting, and they're like, and I just go with it.
Wow.
And most people don't really say anything. Yeah, I'm in a meeting with my boss right now. We actually were talking about this account. Here's what we noticed in this account. We talk about what we noticed, and I go straight in the call. Nobody ever calls you on this. Because, like, if you're in a meeting, then I'm in a meeting now. Great. We're both magically in a meeting.
I don't know. Something about that feels like my 5-year-old being like, no, you're a poo-poo head.
Look, it's a different.
No, I'm in a meeting.
Wow, that's actually very unique.
It's a different energy, but you gotta.
Yeah.
It's a tone. You gotta be like, yeah, I'm in a meeting too. It's like an afterthought, and then you go straight.
And then if you get a fake AI voice over the background that goes, "Yeah, we're in a meeting together," then you're really selling.
Yeah, you can't be like,
voice.
yeah, you can't be like, I'm in a meeting, and no, you got to be like, yeah, I'm in a meeting, and like I was just with my boss, and the reason I was reaching out, and then you just go into it.
Yeah,
but it's a tone thing.
I usually make it laugh. I make it laugh. I've done it back in my career, and it's been called out on many times. But I'll just tell them, "Oh, you're in a meeting. That's good. Can you actually put me on in front of everybody? Do you have the VP there, John, and do you have Sarah with marketing? Because I was hoping to get a chance to kind of meet with all of you." And then they'll be like, "Oh," and then I've been called out on that. They're like, "I actually am here." Boom, and it's happened to me like 3 or 4 times in my career, and I've had to literally talk to a room. But I just tell them, "That's great, cool. Can I get all of them then, and we could save everybody time?" And they laugh.
Put me on speaker.
Like, that's I'm just like, cool. You know,
Recco.
if you've got the time, then yeah. I'm like, dude, if you got the time, then let's all chat right here, right now. Give me 30 seconds, and I'll kind of tell you what's going on, and we can knock this out of the park with all of you right here. And they're usually like, "Okay, I'm not in a meeting, Tom," and I'm like, "All right, cool. Well, this is why I called." Or they'll put me on, and I just have to own it.
This is actually that crazy because, like, if you think about it and say, "Put me on speaker," that's actually what you want, anyways, right? Because you're already emailing all these people. They've probably seen your name.
Post
like,
coming out from Morgan. New way to multi-thread. Tell your prospects.
Put me on speaker. Hey, look, if you know what you're talking about and you're credible, put me on speaker.
And if you name names,
that's fire.
If you name names, like if I knew that Morgan, like I know Morgan's team, so I'm like, Morgan, if I called him and he's like, "Tom, I'm actually running into I'm in a meeting with the guys," I'm like, "Cool, put me on speaker with Stuart and Garrett," because I know
I was going to reach them too. No way.
Yeah, cool. Like, I would love to get a chance with them. Can you guys all talk to me for a second? And they're like, "Yeah, here's speaker," and it's like, "Hey guys," and I'm like, "Hey, I know it's a cold call, y'all don't like it, but here I am." But if you could bring names too, then it's just confidence, right? People get stunned by that. And it almost earns you a level of respect a little bit to where it's like, I get it, dude. You're in a meeting. Fine. Let's hash this out right now and find out if there's something here or not.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to the next question. So this is, I know a lot of people want to know the answer to this one. I think it's going to be different for everyone. What's the best way to grab someone's attention in the first 10 seconds? I feel like some of you already have answered this to a degree. So I don't think we need to spend too long on this question. But if y'all want to just maybe double click on this a little bit more as well.
Just like I always just say, be yourself. Like the opener is 100% you. So I'm the type of guy who's like, "Hey, like you're probably going to hate me because this is a cold call. I've got a couple options for you. Would you either like to hang up or roll the dice to give me an opportunity to tell you why I called today?" Like that works really well for me. Because
like literally said like how Will just said it with that exact confident, kind of chill, relaxed tone, not too fast. That's exactly how you want to deliver it, the way he just did it.
Thanks, Ronen. Yeah, I mean that's my opener, but some people do not like that. Like that would not fit for them. So that's why I would say just like be you, because that's how I'd approach someone. Like, hey, like, if I'm trying to sell them something, right? Like, hey, this is what I'm here to do, but like, want to give me an opportunity here? Like, what do you say? Just cheeky, but also somewhat confident.
Look, you got to know a little bit of the psychology behind this. Albert, what's his name? Mehrabian in the 1960s at UCLA did a study on this. And then he wrote a book called The Silent Message, which is all about the thing that all of us know exists, but can never articulate. It's when we have a BS detector that goes off. So the silent message teaches us that there's a rule, 55-38-7 rule. 55% of our interpretation of the validity of a message is body language. You don't have any of that on a cold call. 38% is the tonality, and 7% is the words. That means 93% of someone calling BS on you comes down to everything other than what you're saying. how you're saying it. That's especially true at the beginning of the cold call more than any other time in the call, because they don't know who you are. And they're wondering, do I trust this person or not? It literally, when I say it does not matter what you say, it almost does not matter. Like 7% matters what you say. 93% matters how you say it. So if I'm calling Will and I just want to get his attention, I'm going to be like, Will, like that, super loud, charismatic, friendly. Will, it's Ronen. I'm a total stranger. You don't know me. I don't know you. I'm actually cold calling you. Isn't that delightful on a Tuesday morning here? You got half a minute for me to tell you why, or do you want to hang up?
Sure. What's up?
That'll get his attention. It breaks you. Don't be like everyone else. That's the only thing. Because when you're like everyone else, you don't get any trust. You fit into the pattern. So break the pattern, sound different.
Or just tell everyone to put you on speakerphone. That's really the
I'm gonna do this and then post it on LinkedIn. I'm
trying to tell y'all the way. I'm just trying to guide you.
Listen.
That's all I'm trying to do. Okay, we have 4 minutes left here. We're going to answer another question, but as people are going to move on to their next meeting, where can people find you three if they want more information? Ronen, we'll start with you.
Turn around. No, I'm just kidding, guys. Hit me up on LinkedIn. I've also got, if you guys want a free call script that you could grab on my profile, it's a lot of fun to play with. But yeah, I'll drop my link here. Connect with me. Would love to hear from y'all.
All right, well, talk to us.
Yep. You can find me on TikTok or on Instagram, Sell That SaaS. I've also got a cold call guide. I won't do too much more selling on that, but yeah, you can find me on TikTok and on Instagram.
I thought TikTok was gone, dog. What are you talking about?
Yeah, what happened to TikTok?
That changed. It's game over, bro.
W's in the chat. TikTok's back.
All right, Tom, where can they find you?
Just a quick Google search. No, I'm just kidding. That's only Morgan. Go check out and do a Google search on Morgan. It's got a cool thing now. You can find me on LinkedIn. Don't do a Google. Got to put the J in there. Make sure you put Morgan J. No, you can find me on LinkedIn. Drop in the chat. That's my big place I love to live and breathe. Find me there. DM me. Shoot me a voice memo anytime. But that's where you can find me.
All right. Well, I'll change up the channels. You can find me on YouTube, Morgan J. Ingram. And then also LinkedIn as well. So, and then let's get back into the questions. So this one right here is another objection. So I'm not interested. So basically you call someone, it already says someone in the chat. So you're going to get the people who are just like not interested. You didn't even get to say your value prop. You barely got to say your name. They're not interested from the rip. What do you do here?
All right.
Or nothing.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, okay. Is that because you really hate getting cold calls and you'd rather hang up on me, or do you already know what we do? Just call it out, guys. You know, there's two reasons why they're not interested. Either they don't want to talk to you, or they know what you do, which is unlikely if it's early in the call. So just call it out. People respect that. Be brutally honest with what you're going to say, but also be brutally honest about what you're sensing from the prospect.
I mean, I feel like that was it. Unless I got something.
Yeah,
that's it. I don't think there's anything to add. To be fair,
yeah,
like that sounds about right.
Yeah, you usually just want to acknowledge, pivot, and ask. Right. That's usually what I do. Is like I completely understand. You weren't expecting my call. Nobody is. Right. But just out of curiosity, are you already working on XYZ problem or pain point? And if we could potentially make that a little bit easier in your life, you know, is it something you'd be open to continuing a conversation around? And then that way they just are kind of like, okay, now they got the gist of who I am, why I called, where we're trying to go, and then they can decide how we proceed from there.
Okay, last one we're going to throw up here as we have a minute left here. I really like this question. And if you fail, okay, so basically you're reaching out to an account, you reach out to someone, they're not interested. Do you continue to reach out to that person maybe later? Do you find someone else to reach out to, etc.? Rapid fire answers here.
Yes. Keep reaching out to them. Try again.
Go around them.
Okay. Tom.
That's mine.
I think it's both. I think it's both answers, right? Continue to pursue that person, switch up the method in which you're reaching out, look at your data, see if you've called them every day at 9 a.m. Try to switch the method, maybe shoot them a personalized video or a voice memo to kind of break that ice. And then also multi-thread. Hey, Ronen, I've been in talks with Will. Obviously doesn't look like it's a front of mind issue for him. I could be barking up the wrong tree. is he the one that would help move this, forward? Or do you think we can maybe start with you and kind of present what we have and work our way around, up to the channel? And so work both angles, but don't stop working that person until you literally get that, screw you or that yes.
All right, y'all. That was it for today's show. First show episode of the year. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. You three, thanks so much for taking your time and sharing some insights and knowledge with the audience. And we hope to see you all in the next one. And hope everyone has a blessed rest of your day. Cheers, everybody.
Thank you, Morgan.
Thanks, Morgan. Thanks, everyone.